Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. I'm your host, Jamal, one half of DC's finest. The other half is Reeves. Say hello, Reeves.
Hey, everyone out there. I hope you're excited to listen to our podcast. We put a lot of work into it. Happy to be here.
Yes, and as always, we're also joined with our other hosts, Brooklyn's finest. Brian, say what's up.
Hey, everyone. It's me, Brian. I'm one whole part of Brooklyn's finest. And I hope that you're ready to listen to a podcast because we're making one.
All right. I present to you, chefs, what I made for you this evening. A Old Bay.
Last evening.
And yes, what I present to you last evening, an Old Bay and seasoned salt crusted salmon baked with garlic, broccoli, and sweet potatoes.
Can we talk about Old Bay for a second?
Sure, let's talk about Old Bay. Let's talk about it.
My office recently, we have like intro questions for new hires, and one of the new hires was like, what was your favorite seasoning? And I said Old Bay.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I just want to talk about I'm just telling you guys that's my favorite seasoning because you can put it on French fries.
You can put it on anything.
Yeah.
Old Bay. Have you grilled chicken with Old Bay?
It's a good question.
Are you asking me, do I?
Have you ever? I'm asking.
Oh, I don't really cook.
Okay. So this is...
Okay, and the audience is saying, we know.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as they get to you, he's going to do another DiGiorno.
I prepared for you. I had to really think hard about what I prepared yesterday, but I remember now. It was a oven roasted salmon in olive oil, and like I think a little bit of parsley was on it, along with basil and cherry tomatoes, and then also some broccolini.
Which is different than broccoli.
It's different.
I'm not making a joke.
And I'm not being funny, and I'm not being mean towards Italians.
You'll know when he's being funny.
You can tell. It's very obvious. I say joke. That's it.
Or he would say, there are funny versions of broccoli. There's broccoloni, which is a funny version of broccoli. That's not a real thing.
All right, Brian, go ahead and do yours now, Brian. Were you done with?
I'm done. That was it.
Okay.
I thought we'd do more fake broccolis.
No, we're done. We're done with it. Keep going.
So, Chef, what I have prepared for you are dumplings from Vanessa's Dumplings in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Jesus
and also
Christ.
Don Noodles from
You don't
Vanessa's.
Prepare anything every time we do this.
Here we go. So
let's cook something. You're at home.
No, hold on. We've been very good the last 2 weeks. We have cooked almost every night, every week. Last night we treated ourselves. It was our Dynamite dinner because we got dumplings and watched wrestling. We watched AEW Dynamite.
Oh, our AEW Dynamite dinner.
And I do cook.
That's so good.
I was hoping that it was just our Dynamite dinner is we get someone else to make us dinner for us.
And you guys know that I cook because right before we started recording this podcast, I spilled dinner all over my phone, which was a curry that my wife and I made in the Instant Pot.
Yep.
And it made a huge mess.
And
I cooked it. But last night we didn't cook. We had dumplings. They were really good.
Can I ask you guys, do you guys ever pair your meals with like wine or beer?
I'll consider it, but usually it's just kind of like whatever we have.
Brian, what about you?
Yeah. I like to get really stoned before I eat dinner, so I tend to do. Does that count?
Sure, it counts. That's a pairing.
Yeah, so yes.
So you guys, typically you're not looking for pairings for your dinner?
No, the only pair I'm ever looking for is
okay.
Nice.
Okay, wait. Let's hold up.
Hold on a second.
This is not a joke. What he's about to say.
Juicy pair of shoes. And you can keep that. You don't got to cut it.
Okay. Well, I feel like if we were going to pair dinner with something, we'd have to probably go to the Napa region, which brings us to this week's episode, number 9 of season 1, Napa's Finest. The remaining chefs traveled to Napa's Valley Copia Museum to prepare a dish in front of all of those fancy judges. But before that, they went to the Quickfire Challenge, where they had to use junk food. We all know how much Harold loves junk food.
Challenge is all about junk food. See, is spread of junk food. Not right from the get-go. I'm pissed off about it. This is not what I'm about. This is not what I want to cook.
That's our boy Harold letting us know again.
Right from the get-go, I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And for the listener at home, that wasn't like a talking head like interview thing. He said that in the kitchen. He screamed that at Kaylee. Yeah. He was so angry.
You should have seen the programmed expression response from Katie Julie on that one.
Yeah. She almost short circuited. Another fun thing that is really happening in this moment is I feel like they're this whole episode, the editors had some fun with the things that Dave does when he is not really the focus, which is like at one point because like Katie Lee is like getting instructions on the quick fire and she says like there's no immunity and like, you know, how you do on this challenge will also impact the elimination challenge. They're going to do it combined as who gets eliminated and who goes on to the next round, the finale. And Dave, I mean, that is a lot of information, but Dave is taking copious notes while everyone else is sitting there watching and like listening. And he looks like some like reporter from the 40s, like taking notes furiously. So like he doesn't forget anything.
And I love Dave because he's always like, this is my system. It works for me. It works for me. Whatever. I'm not some of these other contestants, but it works for me.
Yeah. Dave is great. I'm really trying to come around to Dave. They really, at the beginning of this episode, they're really like sending Dave home. From this episode is like Dave's going. Everyone's like Dave's had his time. Dave's up. Dave's like, if I go home, that's what they're really like letting you think that Dave's going to go home. They're also setting up this like Tiffany versus Leanne thing.
Speaking of people who think Dave's going home, why don't we listen to someone who absolutely thinks Dave's going home?
Some quickfire challenges I've done really, really well, and I've been consistently in the top. I don't let overwhelming pressure get to me.
Right behind, just coming through.
Woo! Dave spazzes out a little bit, and it's not how I like to work.
Coming through again.
In terms of the competition, I don't really think Dave's going to be around very much longer.
Ooh, the classic curse on Top Chef. You start talking too soon. Might be your episode to go, especially when they clip it like that. So Tiffany's coming in hot against Dave.
And we already knew when our new best friend Harold told us that Tiffany and Dave were like getting into it during their during Restaurant Wars, that we already know they don't get along very well. So it's like they're kind of already gunning for each other.
Yeah. We know that Tiffany also is quoted. I think this is a fantastic quote. It's something along the lines of, she says, Tiffany Faison is here to play, not to mess around. Which, like, usually when you make that quote, it's like, I'm not here to play. I came here to do this, not to play. Like, she's like, I'm here to play. And it's like, oh, so you're having a good time? You're like, not. I get that's like a game.
It doesn't make sense because she's here to cook, though, right?
Yeah.
She's not. I think that's what she meant to say. Or maybe she said, I'm here to cook. And they were like, we already have a lot of people that have said something like that. Can you, here are some other things you can say. And she's like, I'm here to play. And they're like, yeah, do that. And she's like, that doesn't make sense, though.
Steven's off to the side, been like, I would have said something great for the show if I was still here. But now he returns to his writing role off the camera.
He had to leave early because Breaking Bad started. He had to get out of here.
He had to get out of here. Oh, boy. So, quickfire challenge. They have to use junk food. Shock, shock, shock. Who wins? But our boy Harold.
It's friggin' junk food again. They already did this one. Like when she was like, it's junk food, I was like, y'all did junk food already.
Did this already.
Yeah.
You already went to a gas station. Now the gas station was brought to you.
Yeah, the gas station challenge was literally like elevate gas station food. That's the same challenge as this.
It's the exact same challenge.
Yeah. It's not much different, and I don't like the ones where it's just elevate something. I like it if it was like, oh, take nachos and create something else that's like gourmet food or whatever off of that. I find that interesting, but like, what they showed us, because it was like what the challenge was just like take these things and elevate them. So like Dave he took nachos and then did nachos.
He did nachos.
They looked like I made them. They looked like I made them.
They were very messy.
They were just like, he had like 5 nachos on the plate spread out like individually. Like he was
guacamole falling out of the container.
I think the whole time he was like presenting his food, he's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, this sucks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he is just on the verge of a breakdown this entire episode. There's a lot of like cuts to him too, like where he's like rubbing his head and he just looks so stressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just did nachos. Tiffany just did like a corn dog, basically. Yeah,
which again, we've done a fancy corn dog too already.
Yeah,
yeah, we've already seen
We've already
it.
seen this. Stop pulling the same stuff out. The only one who actually
Tiffany did something new. She did a gross looking hot dog. That hot dog was like white. It looked so bad.
Oh, you're talking about Leanne.
Leanne, yeah.
The seafood hot dog. Ooh, the wording of that is off.
Yeah.
I feel like someone makes a seafood hot dog in like maybe the most recent season. Someone makes a seafood hot dog. It gets destroyed. Like, it's just like, this is awful. Nobody wants this.
Well, what kind of seafood is she using in there? Because do we think it was octopus? Or do we know it was just like a white fish or crab or something like that?
It was probably just a crab or like something. I know that Dave used scallops on his.
The only person who actually elevated their food was the one who won, which was Harold, when he used the popcorn and made it fancy. Let's listen.
Hi, Harold. You had popcorn, so let's see what you created.
In Latin restaurants, you see popcorn garnished with ceviche. So I'm taking it a step further here. I've made a popcorn cake with my Ecuadorian-style ceviche, which has shrimp, calamari, clementines, lime juice. Tastes like popcorn?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Got a little pop secret inside the Kenmore microwave.
You've really, I think, done a great job here using the ingredient and doing a lot more with it.
Thank you,
Harold.
Yeah, so anytime you can get Tom Colicchio to stumble over his words and while he's congratulating you, you won. You just won the competition. It's the equivalent of the handshake from Great British Baking Show.
That's true. I think what happened was in no way, and it's super clear when you watch this and listen to it, is like, in no way was a producer telling Harold to specify the exact kind of microwave he used ahead of time. He just did it. He just did like an advertisement. Just he knew to do it, and that just it blew his fucking mind. He was like, "Whoa, get this guy to go."
Yeah, our best friend Harold is really learning how to play the game. He's like, yeah, I think he even says like the brand of popcorn too. Whatever kind of popcorn it is, Pop Secret popcorn into the Kenmore microwave, and you can see like a producer like put $20 in his pocket, just like shove it in there. He's like, "Yeah, good job, man, you fucking nailed that."
And Harold was feeling good because after they announced the elimination challenge, where they're gonna have to like have a wine pairing in Napa Valley in front of all these high class chefs, Harold was feeling himself.
Can we just like 1 second? When they bring out the like what they're gonna be cooking with, everyone is losing their fucking minds.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen this episode, so I didn't know what it was gonna be, but everyone's like, "Oh my god, my god!" And I'm like, "Holy shit, is this gonna be a fucking octopus?" I was like, "Is this gonna be a fucking octopus?" Because they're all like, "Holy shit! Oh wow!" And then they're like, "Here it is, a 2001 Schaefer Hillside Select Cabernet Sauvignon wine."
You want to try that again?
I said it like Borat. Sauvignon wine.
Do you want to try that one more time?
A 2001 Schaefer Hillside Select Cabernet Sauvignon wine.
Okay. And what else?
And black truffles.
Well, not just any black truffles. What kind?
Oh, that I didn't write down.
Very good.
The way they acted, I was so
which is
let
just
down.
Someone saying very good with like an Italian accent. Very good.
Very good. Here's just a couple of names of the chefs that I'm cooking for. Douglas Keane, Cindy Paulklin, Philip Ginty, Lisa Dumani, Hiro Sohn, Greg Cole. I mean, James McDevitt. I mean, the list goes on. These are who is in the room. These are palettes upon palettes, okay? These are
the heavy hitters. I mean,
yeah.
So people who don't know who these chefs are, like we know who these chefs are. Let's compare it to you. So like this would be like if you were gonna play basketball and at the table was like Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, And then, no, actually, it might have been funnier if I said people that weren't famous. Okay, so here we go.
Wait. Let's make it clear though. Don't cut this. Let's let people see how we cook in the comedy world. Come up with it. All right, try it.
So for those of you that don't know who these chefs are, like we do, we know who these chefs are.
We know who they are.
This would be like if you're gonna play basketball, and when you got to the table, it was people like Carlos Boozer and JaVale McGee,
JJ Redick,
Jeff Green, JJ Redick. You know, real heavy hitters.
Sam Cassell.
Your Sam Cassells. I'm going to name all the Wizards. Your Rui Hachimuras.
I was just going to name Wizards players. JJ has his own podcast, so I don't know. Do we want to edit out his name in case he ever wants to be? He likes wine a lot too, so maybe he could be a future.
No, we got to keep his name in because if he does hear his name, he'll contact us and want to be on the show.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, keep it in. All of that. Don't cut any of it.
No, it's funny that I redid the joke, and I think I made it better.
Let's hear how ready for the challenge Harold is, because our boy is. He's flexing.
Our best friend.
Our best friend's flexing. Listen.
I'm feeling really good about myself. I won the quickfire challenge. I got to step up, and I know that none of these guys are going to be able to stop me.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
And if you haven't watched the episode yet, he's shirtless when he's saying this. He's flexing hard. He has the tape measure around his arm, and he's flexing it, and he really breaks it.
He really is.
And then he walks up to Dave, and he's like, "Hit me in the face! Hit me in the face!"
He pours wine over himself. It's very crazy, but he's feeling good, and who can blame him? I mean, he's been on a bit of a hot streak, and this is the time in the competition when you want to be on a hot streak. You're one show away from the finals, so this is a good time to be cooking your best food.
Harold wants to go to Vegas. He did not want to go to Cannes.
Yeah, not interested in Cannes and/or Con, but loves Vegas.
But he wants to go to Vegas so bad.
So the contestants, they head on up to Napa Valley, and they do their shopping, what they're going to prepare. I'm pretty sure all these chefs are probably making something different, right, guys?
I mean, that would make sense. You don't want to duplicate other people's work because then it really becomes a competition within just the people that did the same food. And you kind of want to be as different as possible from the other dishes. So, it makes sense. You definitely would want to have something different.
Wait a minute. Oh, God, I feel so stupid because I thought everyone would get something different because it's a cooking competition. But 3 of them got lamb?
Well, so we need a little context for this because I feel like 3 of the contestants kind of got swindled because Tom was in the grocery store handing out lamb, and he was selling it basically to people. He had a mustache on, so you knew it was Tom, but he had a disguise. And he was like selling lamb, and he was like, "Oh boy, this is such nice lamb! I can't wait to eat this lamb. I love lamb." But everyone knew that it was Tom.
Yeah, because they're all saying, "It's Mott. My name is Mott. Come get my lamb."
Yes.
Oh God, and Jamal, you just broke the second rule. I think.
No. He called himself that in the episode. I'm not calling him that.
Yeah, but look, I know from firsthand, even if someone calls themselves a word, I'm not allowed to say it instantly. I've been told that explicitly on numerous occasions.
Yeah, that's true.
And but you just said it, and they're like, no,
you have to have more respect for me than I have for myself.
Yeah, and to our fans, if there are words and things we're saying in this show this or any show that you don't like, leave them in the comments. Make sure it's a 5-star review, but put those in the comments. It's the only way we can communicate with you.
They all got freaking lamb, and Lee is pissed. I think she said something about a lamb train. Harold has an excuse. Harold says, "I didn't even see them get lamb. I'm not feeling very good." I don't know if Harold we should have asked him if he was shitting himself, because whenever someone says like, "My stomach's bothering me," that means you're pooping a lot.
That means you're pooping a lot.
That means you're running to the restroom quite a bit. With that guy, he touched all over their food. Yeah. That's how diarrhea spreads.
Yeah, this certainly is. But you know how you're supposed to wash your hands in the kitchen because that's part of the kitchen rules. There's other people who have other rules in the kitchen, and one of them, if you can believe it, is Tiffany, who's very fun loving. But why don't we listen to her rules for the kitchen?
Can you just be a little quieter? I like a quiet kitchen. It's not a time to mess around. I have a good time while I'm cooking, but my joy comes through the food and the work and the creation and the process, what I'm doing.
I like a quiet kitchen when I'm cooking. The fun comes from the food and the preparation.
You really know people mean it that they're fun when they tell you that they're fun.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you do have to explicitly say out loud.
Like, I'm having a good time. And I was like, you're screaming. I'm having fun doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and later in that clip, I think all that happens is just Leanne asks Dave to like get her like a pan that's like on a high shelf, like very normally asks like, can you get this pan or whatever? And then it just shows Tiffany, she's like chopping some chives or something. She just looks up, she goes, can you guys be quiet, please?
Can you be quiet, please?
And it's like, it's clear that it's not loud.
Yeah.
Not loud at all.
So they're in Julia Child's kitchen and they get there and they're like, whoa, this is Julia Child cooks here. And this was named after her. Leanne to Tiffany is like, you know, I met her once before she died.
Oh, look at Julia. I got to meet Julia before she died, so I met her once too.
You know, I met Barack Obama. I met him too. I met him too.
So dismissive. It's so dismissive and mean. And I didn't realize that these two hate each other as much as they do until like this episode. When that happened, I just laughed so hard. That's just like the meanest you can be to someone. She was like, you tell a cool story. So I was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I met him too. That's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it is clear this episode that like the people that are left, I think people respect Tiffany because she clearly is a good cook. But she just is so standoffish to everyone. Yep. Like her response is basically just saying like end of conversation. Like you can't continue you can't even really change the subject. You just kind of have to be like, oh, and walk away at that point. That's the only acceptable move other than like getting in an argument with that person.
Yeah. And the worst part is she kind of tries to wear it like a badge of honor that she's that way in the kitchen. But it's like, you're supposed to work. The whole kitchen is you're working with people, right? So don't you want people to want to follow you and want you as their leader?
I think there's a way to do it though, because I wouldn't say that Harold is a friendly guy on the show, but he doesn't come off as like mean. Like,
yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
He's very like straight to the point.
You want a leader who will be like firm, but like you still like inspires you to like want to listen to what they say, like cook for them, work with them, be on their team. Like you trust them that, you know, they're not going to like throw you under the bus. But we all know Tiffany has not done that to anyone.
So when you guys were watching this episode and they like did this brief, you know, snippet about Julia Childs and the fact that she was dead and stuff like that, did you guys think, and maybe this is just me, that there was a possibility that the rest of the episode was going to get a bit spooky? Maybe she would haunt the kitchen in some way.
Yes.
So
I
like
thought pans were going to start falling off racks and stuff.
Okay.
So there was something definitely happening because in that clip that we just played, you hear someone go, "Look, there's Julia," and it cuts this like weird like painting, but it's clearly not the same time. Like the camera doesn't turn. It's like some weird kind of like out of focus painting. Clearly, they saw the ghost of Julia Child. And they were like, no, that's not what it was. And they showed like a painting. But these contestants were seeing Julia Child's ghost. And I think that proves it.
Okay. Yeah. And maybe she was guiding them through the challenge and helping them make decisions and maybe helping them not manage their time well or make mistakes because she didn't want them to do well.
Or maybe they just wanted to make sure that they were going to have fun in the kitchen because they know that one of the chefs there was not there to have fun while they were cooking.
Tiffany can be very tough and abrasive in the kitchen, and you know, you're not saving a life, so it doesn't work for me.
You're not saving a life, so it doesn't work for me.
I'm trying. So the reason I wanted to play that was, can you guys explain to me what he meant? Because if you're saving a life, that means you can be mean.
If you're saving a life, you can be mean and as serious as you want. But if you're not doing that, then it needs to be light. It needs to be fun. There needs to be like maybe a ghost story. There needs to be like some element of brevity to it.
So I have a question though. Do you think Michael Jordan has fun playing basketball?
He hates
or
it.
Hat? Like
his fun comes in the documentaries afterwards.
But like, you don't think he has any fun at all? Do you think LeBron James has fun playing basketball?
I mean, honest response, they're probably having the time of their life. But it's probably like the only place where they actually feel completely and utterly like who they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I feel like it's that is their only element. So I think it is, they are just that's it for them. So it is like they love it, but it's like outside of that, I feel like they are probably very, I mean, I've seen LeBron interviewed. He's not too bad, but like, I think Michael is probably pretty unbearable.
Yeah.
Do you think he would tell you he gets joy from playing basketball? Even though we know that when he plays with people, he punches them in the face and is a total dick.
I think that's part of the fun though, isn't it? Because you could do that back then.
But what I'm saying is Tiffany might be Michael Jordan of cooking.
Oh, yes. She has to do it because it's like what she's good at, but she's not really enjoying it while she's doing it.
And then there are a lot of talking heads where she's smoking a cigar and has like yellow eyes. So I think she does.
Well, and there was that one moment where Steve Kerr was back in the kitchen. She punched him in the fucking face.
And she said, this is not a Cabernet Sauvignon.
She was like, I respected Steve after I did that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe we're being too hard on Tiffany because she is just too good and can't, she can't, what's the word? Something fools.
Play.
Never mind. You guys don't know.
I don't know.
Fool's Gold.
It's not Pity the Fools.
Oh.
It's like.
Are you sure it's not Pity the Fools?
I'm pretty sure it's not Pity the Fools.
Well, I tell you what, I pitied the fools who ate Harold's dish because his mushrooms were gritty. Listen to this.
The fact that they felt my mushrooms are gritty is bad because that's an amateur move. That's something a chef should be doing.
Yeah, Harold, that's cooking 101. Clean the mushrooms.
You got to clean those mushrooms, though. I did watch a cooking video recently where someone said that actually you don't have to do that. But at that time you needed to do it. You got to clean those mushrooms. Or are they gritty? Gritty
mushrooms? You have any idea? Look, do you think Douglas Keane wants gritty mushrooms, Harold? Do you think Felipe Ginty wants gritty mushrooms, Harold? Keith Lucci? Do you think that? Victor Scargill? Do you think he wants gritty mushrooms? I don't think so.
I think all of three of the people are just like the Plumlee brothers. That's the comparison to NBA players. They're all just Plumlees. Reeves, when Harold got in trouble for mushrooms, did you feel validated that he gave you shit for mushrooms and that way your meal ranked third out of our meals because you didn't know your fucking mushrooms?
That made me feel so fucking good about myself. You know who was really disappointed? My wife. Because she bought those mushrooms and she was like, when she was listening to it, she was like, how did you not know the mushrooms? I was like, I was like, I know, but like I got very scared. I didn't know that there were going to be questions.
That's so good.
But yeah, Harold, in your face. Listen, we project sometimes when we make mistakes onto other people when we feel like we see the same mistakes. So really, I think what was happening was Harold was seeing himself in me, and so that's another reason why we're all best friends with him.
Yeah, probably another reason why he added foam to you. He sent me home. So that's Harold. He made a dish. It was very good, but it was, the mushrooms had a little bit of gristle on them, c'est la vie. But for the most part, his was, I believe, the favorite of the lamb dishes. So that's a good thing. And then Dave served a beef dish with black truffle macaroni and cheese. Boy, I want to try that.
So before we get away from the lamb stuff, Leanne made a butternut squash truffle risotto, which I like to call Riz because you always fuck it up on Top Chef, baby. And that's a t-shirt now. We got a t-shirt. Yes. Risotto is now a t-shirt.
And it says Mike Riz. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I would like it if it's a picture of Tom and that's written on his head.
Yeah, it is in black Sharpie. And he's like got a scowl and he's looking at you.
Before Dave serves his food, Tom says Dave is a wild card, and then he says, "I'll be quiet." Tom knows that Dave is a vampire, and he almost let the table know.
Yeah,
just
almost
then.
let everyone know.
Yes, and I mean honestly, we can play this clip. Dave kind of he really like tells them and leads them into his world, because he basically just goes on this crazy rant where it's just like stream of consciousness and he just says whatever's in his mind, but he really reveals some frightening things about himself.
It's been an intense challenge, because I'm just such a freak about food and I love sharing. It just was crazy getting it out and done. And when you've been up for the last 20 whatever days with a bunch of crazy people in a house, the things that I tasted in the wine, actually, I tasted a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of cherry, but I didn't want to do a chocolate sauce. I did eat some candy bars when I was drinking it, but I was tasting the chocolate first.
I'm sorry. Up for the last 20 days?
Yeah, because you've been stalking people looking for blood.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I missed that when I first listened. He is a vampire. He's been up for 20
secret's
days.
out. The secret's out.
Yeah, secret's out.
Everyone
Dave.
knows.
You're a vampire. That explains the silver fox hair. You're a vampire. No wonder you're so erratic.
So I'm not sure which guest says this, but it's one of the women judges, guest judge cooks, whatever they are, says that there's too much black pepper in this food, and then calls him a black pepper monkey.
Yeah, which I didn't want to bring that up, but
I saw that and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you can't say that now, but back in 2006, you could say something like that. And the show keeps going.
Even Tom's kind of like, oh god, and then she brings it up again later.
Yeah.
But she does drop the black part. She says pepper monkey later and drops the black pepper monkey.
Probably because it's redundant. But I only remember one time it was called the black pepper monkey. I don't want to go into it, but let's just say I'm not friends with my cousin anymore.
So that lady was trying to get on TV. She was trying to do a RZA. She's trying to get a t-shirt.
Dave also said that he was there's so much that he said in that. He said he was a freak about food, which is another weird thing to say. I don't know what that means.
Well, vampires can't eat food. Vampires can't eat human food. So that's why he's a freak about food, because he can't taste it.
See, this whole thing was just like a little crumb trail to lead everyone towards figuring out who he really was, which is a vampire.
And so we're going to announce this now. This is no longer a Top Chef podcast, rewatching podcast. We are now detectives. We've solved it. This is now about Dave being a vampire. It's out there. We're Serial now.
Yep, we're Serial, and the name of the podcast is True Detective Serial Top Chef.
Or it's going to be called VOD Chef, the official vampire chef podcast.
Every season, we're going to find out who the vampire is, and that's the new show.
It is. Every season does have one vampire. So Harold's moving on, and Dave, I like, as we heard Tiffany earlier on in the episode talk about how she doesn't think Dave will be around much longer, but Dave's dish is the most favorite, which you can see Tiffany doing her classic lips pierced move when that's announced, as if she's like, how did this guy who makes homely food get passed on in front of all these judges' palace? But it just goes to prove it's not about how fancy your food is. It's about how good it is. If you can do simple food well, that's all that matters. And Dave and Harold are moving on, but they're in the back and they're wondering who else is going to move on with them. They hope it's a Leanne. Oh, so the boys are in the back hoping that Leanne gets passed forward. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And this Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan did isolate himself from his teammates, or some of them at least. This episode really does. You kind of get a sense in earlier episodes, like who likes who or whatever. But this episode is really clear that of the people left, no one really cares for Tiffany very much.
So let's go back in. We heard that the boys in the back want Leanne. Her response as to why she should stay is basically taking shots at Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end saying, I want to keep cooking food in Las Vegas. Which I wish we could show Tiffany's faces that she's making, because now I picked up on Tiffany's tell. If I was playing poker with Tiffany, I'd just look for her to make the same face she makes when she disagrees with something or she's trying to hold something in, because she pierces her lips. She like puts both her lips together like really tightly when she doesn't agree with what someone's saying. So you can be like, you have a pair, don't you? And if she makes that move, you know that she's probably got it. Well, Leanne's speech didn't work because they actually decided to send Tiffany on through to Las Vegas. So unfortunately, Leanne's going to have to pack her knives and leave. And let's listen to Leanne's goodbye.
Come and see me in New York. I will. I made it to the Final Four, and that's a long way to come. I've been a strong competitor throughout the game. I've done it without having to badmouth anybody or beat up on anybody like some people. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a great chef, so I think that there will be a lot of opportunities coming my way.
Okay, she's still going after Tiffany, so that's good on the way out.
Yeah.
So in a way, she's won that competition.
Yeah, she's a little salty. It's a bummer to see Leanne go. She's a good cook. I mean, everyone left is a good cook. But she was a good personality. I liked seeing her there. But you know what? I have a feeling that maybe we haven't seen the last of her.
Oh boy, did you just give us a segue to the Vegas finale? I think you did. Because that's going to be episode 10 is the Vegas finale part 1. By the way, this is a real Hunger Games ending for season 1 of Top Chef.
A real Twilight.
Real Twilight. real Harry Potter 2-part ender.
It would be a Hobbit if they did 3 of them, but they just did 1 or 2. Can we talk about, we didn't talk about this earlier. I know we're done, but I like to point out when people go home and then they would have done like Steve. Do you think Steven was watching this episode and like just fucking punching air as hard as he could? This episode was literally like pairing wine.
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah.
How also like do you think when they sent him home and he was like, that's fine, they were like, oh yeah, wait till you fucking see next week.
Yeah, wait till you see what we've got. And he watches the episode and he's like, this episode is for me. This is made for me.
I think they sent him home knowing that the next episode was going to be presenting this like super rare, bottle of wine, because they were afraid of what he would do. Like when because I mean, just the reaction of, the normal chefs that were there was pretty incredible. I mean, he would have, completely broken character and maybe like started transitioning into like Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston.
Or I was thinking more Malcolm in the Middle, Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah,
from just having an overload of hearing about the wine.
Yeah, he would have gone crazy. Another crazy thing that happens once Harold and Dave are told that they're going to go to Vegas, they go into the back room, and Dave needs to have a moment with himself, and so he goes into the walk-in like ingredient room, which he still has his mic on, so they can hear what he's saying, and he just keeps saying incredible over and over to himself. Just incredible. And then he comes back out. So I thought that was kind of an endearing moment, but it was also
it was sweet.
Crazy. Yeah.
All right. I think that does it. That's it for Napa's Finest, episode 9 of season 1. We are your 3 best friends, Jamal, Brian, and Reeves. Be sure to like us on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And until next time, we're going to pack our knives and go.